Hey, how's it going, guys? It's John Arwood here with She Got Game. I'm here with the lovely Priscilla Williams. How's everything going with you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Can't complain. Can't complain, right? Just before we dive into, because we got a lot of things to talk about and stuff, and just to give everyone a background before we really start diving into your basketball career and stuff like that. Just for the people at home, where are you from originally?
So I was born in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City. I grew up in Houston, Texas, and then my last 2 years of high school spent them in Branson, Missouri. And then I was last year, I was at Syracuse University. Now I'm out South Florida. So yeah,
Nice.
that's the
Yeah,
overview.
all over the country, huh?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I was about to say, how's that? How's that? Because I know for a fact in college, Oklahoma and Texas is a no no. They don't they
But
don't they don't play with each other. So, how's that? How's playing the middle line of that?
I mean it's smooth pretty much. It was when I was a kid, like I was really a baby. I have a bunch of siblings too, 7 siblings. So,
Nice.
we've always been all over for real, and just basketball has always been a sport we played all together. So it's not really no rivalries, it's just the love of the game, all that. So yeah.
Gotcha. No, with seven siblings, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
So it's a blast all the time.
I bet. I bet. What around what age did you start beginning to get involved in sports, let alone basketball? Just like when you start picking up balls and trying to play,
Um,
da da da.
I'd say really since I was younger. So my mom always put us in sports, had us moving, basically since we could walk, had us getting active and stuff. But I'd probably say my basketball career, probably when I was like third grade, like AU is when I probably took it. Like, oh, this is something I really like to do. Not even because both my parents played, but I was just like, oh, like this is something I really enjoy. Then seventh grade is when I really learned, like, oh, like I could be good at this if I really put the work in.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. If you don't mind me asking, specifically, your parents have a basketball your family in
Mhm.
general,
Yeah.
super duper background, basketball background. I believe your mother played at Kansas State,
Yeah.
and I believe your father played
Arkansas Tech.
Arkansas Tech. So like
Yeah, yeah,
we're talking the genes. It's literally in your genetics a little bit. So
for sure, a little bit.
specifically, did that have any type of influence on you playing, or like, if they didn't, who or what inspired you to pick up the basketball?
I definitely say it probably was like, hmm, it was like something I wanted to do. Of course, both my parents played. My older brother played in college. Now my older sister played volleyball, D1 volleyball. So she was the only one who kind of, did something different. But my parents told me, my pops told me when I was little, he was like, I was actually in eighth grade. He told me he's like, if we switch you to a guard, like he's like, if you really want to work at it, like you really will be able to be good. So it kind of gave me motivation from there. And then my mom and dad have trained me my whole life. I've never really had no trainers. They've always been there for me. It's my whole family really. So I mean, basketball's a game I love. So I kept playing for as long as I can.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would say I want to ask you because at such a young age and stuff like that, a lot of people with like that type of background, those type of resources and stuff like that, to people who's played their entire lives as well.
Mhm.
Usually, they pick up the game significantly faster than like others, right? What part of the game do you think is the most natural or came the most natural to you?
Um, Definitely shooting when I worked on it. Like shooting for me just became like when really I think my pops can outshoot probably anybody. Best shooter hands down. He can shoot for sure and so can my mom. But really when he told me I could be a good shooter and like I really started to learn, like I'm a tall guard, obviously. And that just felt like really natural. Like that's something I really enjoy doing. Like I can go to the gym and like shoot for hours. Like that's just something. It's muscle memory now because I've been doing it for so many years. But just letting it go and like just the feeling you get of shooting, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's to me.
straight sniper, my guy. All right, what's the? You see, I was just messing around and shot the Jamal.
Uh,
What's the go to? You know what I mean? You hit a dagger, you hit a big three. What are we doing? We got the ice in the
I don't know. I'm
veins.
probably clapping, not gonna lie. I'm probably clapping, yelling, getting turned up. I've
Okay.
always been teammates. I'm always really an energized person on the court. So,
Okay.
my team gonna run off the energy. Yes, it's gonna be a good time if I'm starting to hit shots. It's gonna be a long game for all of us.
All right. Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. Um, just so okay, so understanding, kind of where it's come from and where it stemmed from with your parents and your family and kind of getting a little bit of background. Let's fast forward a little, right? You found immense success like through middle school, high school. Easy money, easy. Averaging 30 and 10 and not insane all through high school, right? Ultimately, you were rewarded McDonald's All American, and you also were named to the
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Brand team roster, right? How much did that mean to you, understanding all the work and stuff you put in since a young age and stuff like that? How much did those accomplishments mean to your basketball legacy?
It definitely gave me like a kind of relief and boost of confidence. Like on my work, really, I've put in on my high school, all the training, all the hours. Like, finally, I mean, being named those, that's a big honor. Like only 24 players in the country get that. So like to even know you're just part of like that individual group that got selected, like it's really an honor and a blessing. Like it just makes you feel like, okay, so what I'm doing, it was a purpose behind all of that. So yeah.
And just to clarify, you were named McDonald's All American in Missouri or Texas?
Oh, in Missouri. Missouri's where I was named it. Yeah.
Listen, Missouri got a lot of talent too. So,
Yeah, for sure.
got a ton of talent. I mean, Texas is a different animal, but hey, listen, we can't sleep on the Midwest. They got some guys. They got some balls for sure.
Nice. So,
No, man. So being I want to say before we get there, I want to take it to so at She Got Game, we do this thing called the She Got Game moment, right? And we
mhm.
ask all our interviewers and stuff like that, when was their She Got Game moment? And that meaning like, when did you know you arrived? It could be when you were younger, when you were in college. When did you know, oh, this is the real deal? Like this is like I'm him. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm one of them. When was
I
your She
was
Got Game moment?
It would probably either be, I feel like I had like two moments, two different time periods. Definitely in high school when I turned to guard. And like, I feel it's like probably my sophomore year, like I was balling. I'm like, oh, like this is fun, like for real. Cause that's when I really like took my game, I guess, very serious. Cause, my dad started talking to me about, even my mom too, about like scholarships. Like they both got scholarships, you can go to college for free. Basically just breaking it down where I really kind of paid attention and like tuned into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then for sure, my college game when I went, I shot a perfect shooting game. That definitely, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm in college, I'm playing against people. I'm a freshman. I'm playing against people who are 3, 4 years older than me. So it's like just kind of showed me like all the work you do, like you can't hoop, you can't hang with them people. So yeah,
That was your She Got
that
Game
was for sure probably my moment. Yeah.
for sure. All right, I like it. I like it. Now I gotta know personally. Honestly, this question may not be for the people at home, but I gotta know. Being from Texas, being from Missouri,
All right.
how do you end up upstate New York? You know what I mean? How do you end up
Well,
committing to Syracuse in the first place? What about Syracuse drew you there? And what
so
kind of led you to commit in there?
So of course Syracuse is, it's been all over the place as stories we've seen. But during that time when it was all put together, basically Coach Quentin Hillsman, was like someone who really came to me. I guess all really college coaches were saying the same thing to me in a sense. So I'm like, of course you're young. That's a very hard decision in general to make. But like he really just told me, basically showed me like, I'm gonna get you to where you want to be, this, like you have talent that I've seen. If you really work and develop these certain skills, like you could be better. He just always, even when I was there, he really like looked out for me like as a person. Really, all the teammates, he just treated you like you're like his daughters for real. So it's someone I honestly need, the type of person I am. Like I need coaching staff who's really like down to earth. Like I can't put it two sides. That's just, I can't do it. But so yeah, he's probably most down to earth, I feel like.
Gotcha, and that's what pretty much drew you.
Yeah, that's what brought me to my decision. And I was like, at first I was like, the cold, man. My dad's like, you gonna be playing basketball inside anyways.
Mm.
I was like, yeah, but all the coaches were great. It's just he just hit a little different. So that's how I know, when you get that gut feeling, you're like, oh yeah, like this is the place that I'm gonna be at.
What
So
what was it between Cuse and which, like, what was your final?
it was actually between Syracuse and Louisville. So those were the two schools I was going back and forth. So yeah, it was our decision, but it ended up being Syracuse. So yeah.
Nice. You could have. Hey, both was
Yeah.
a crazy fit. You could have been out there with Hannah.
Haley for sure, yeah.
That's
So
really nice. But nice, man. So the following year, you ended up suffering an injury and
mhm.
ultimately redshirting. But prior to that, you transferred to USF, correct?
Well, no. So I actually got my injury first. I was still at Syracuse.
Oh,
I
okay.
got out of Syracuse a year, and I just like probably like almost a month ago, I just got to USF. That's when I transferred. I transferred after my sophomore year. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, okay. I know last year led to the red shirt,
Mhm.
and obviously when you red shirt, you can't play any games, right?
Yeah.
However, the season prior to Syracuse, you played in 21 games. You started in
Mhm.
20. You know, and you played against some formidable opponents. For formidable opponents, and you had two standout games. Two standout games that, like, you played well all season. However,
Mhm.
it was two crazy standout games.
Mhm.
A perfect shooting night against Miami, and you recorded your first double double against Boston College. Correct.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
That's gotta be sick as a freshman. That's
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
between I want to know which felt more, which one had more meat to it. It's in your opinion. Out of the two games, which one meant a little more? You scoring the 30, or you catching your first double?
Honestly, probably it would be the double double just because I feel like even rebounding in general, that's something people kind of look over. That's like a grit, like you really gotta want to rebound. For shooter, of course, it was nice, but like I know I can shoot. That's something I'm kind of known for. I'm not known for rebounding, So like just to see that I could do that, it was like, oh, like you have more skills than because sometimes my shot that game really wasn't falling. And my dad had told me, like, if your shot not falling, you got to go to something else. You can't be a one trick pony.
Yep.
So that probably meant more to, see I can do something else rather than just shoot it.
Nice, nice. Hey, look, I respect it. A double. Look, I mean, the 30 points is still crazy. It's always,
Right. No, for
always
sure.
yeah, the 30 points is always crazy. But that double double, yeah, we'll bring a little something. We'll bring a
Yeah.
little something. That 15 to 10 was clean. That 15 to 10 was clean. But I this is a question I think for young ballers, or people who are trying to get more, or at least people who are interested in playing at the next level, right? What can they expect in the differences between the coaching style, or just even the gameplay between high school and college? Like, you're only 1 year out, or 1 or 2 years out from high school, so it's not super duper far. But from what you can remember, what are some of the biggest differences between either the coaching style or gameplay?
So definitely the biggest difference is the timing. College was so fast at first. I was like this is crazy. Like you got to learn how to shoot quicker. Like really, all your decisions have to be quicker. So I say the pace is definitely, and then you being on your own. Like you're not it's your parents, no coach. You're not at school. Like if you don't want to go to class, if you feel that's on you. So I feel like basically it was like either adulthood or like the timing for sure basketball wise
Mm,
because it's just so sped up and like you're playing against people. It's 4 years. It's not people in high school. Like you're playing against grown women at times.
of
People
course.
who like the next year you see them in the league. Like there's people who I play with. Like my old teammate, she's in WNBA right now.
Crazy.
So it's just like just to see that to know like your competition, like you have to be ready for that. It's very nerve wracking, of course, at first, but like when you get in the flow of it, you're like, okay, like I'm gonna be solid.
Mm. What about what would you say about the coaching style? Like, I mean, I can only imagine
Oh,
the X's and O's in college is night and
yeah.
day. I can only
So
imagine.
depending on really what university you go to, but just in general, the coaching staff is like you have like 8 coaches, and every single person has like a specific job with you. Like in high school, you got about two, like the head and assistant. But like coaches, like there's coaches for your money stuff, there's coaches for your nutrition, there's coaches for position coaches. You know what I mean? Collectively, they all do the same job together, but it's just like you get to, I feel like, get new information because you have so many eyes like watching you. Like even with shooting being here in our summer workouts, like I've learned even so much just from different stuff that the coaches have said to me that I'm like, oh, like I never noticed that, you know. So
Mhm.
it's definitely different. They can really develop you because they have you for a certain amount of years in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Building
Yeah.
relationships. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that makes sense. Just to just to put out there, we understand you're young, right? We
Mm-hmm.
understand you're young, and we understand, how important life is after basketball, right? With that being said, you know, how important is it to you personally? How important, like how much pride and stuff do you take in to preparing for that, possibly after college and setting yourself
Mm-hmm.
up financially, or whatever the case is. How important is that to you?
So it's always been, my parents have really both emphasized ever since we were little, like, you know, basketball's not going to go on forever. There is life after basketball. And I don't want to think, I always knew that in a sense, but like it really probably hit me when I had to sit out. Like having basketball taken away from me, and I've played it ever, like really since I was third grade, every single day of my life. Like it really made me realize, like, oh, like this is reality. Like this is what could happen, you know, because if I get another concussion, I'm done with basketball forever. So like this is a possibility. You never know when the game's going to be taken away from you. So like I think I really think about that at times when like I don't want to do school, or you know, just stuff that you have to do that you really don't want to, but
100%.
it's more to life than basketball. Basketball's a short span of time. You know, we got a whole life to live. So gotta make sure I can do other things rather than just basketball.
100%. I like that answer. It's real. It's real,
You
especially
said
after
it.
especially after the red shirt year, like you said. You kind of got to sit there and just watch,
Yeah,
and you get a lot of time to think and you got a lot of time to yourself. I've been there. It's tough. It's tough.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
No, man. But you so let's just so as we know, the NIL deals. You're in a perfect time within the game coming in. Like the NIL deals are popping off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities for you out there. On social media, via Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case is.
Uh-huh.
For you specifically, it appears you have a pretty solid following on TikTok. Like a
Hmm.
lot of,
Yeah.
a ton of these athletes do, right? Do you have any wishes or anything to come from that, or are you hoping that possibly you secure something in the future, or what's the deal on that?
For sure, like if I'll be looking into deals, I have to get more back active on it. I kind of stopped because I did a lot of basketball content videos, and obviously when I didn't play, like, you know, I just took a kind of break from it. So really from all social media, but I'm gonna start get active, of course, and I'm at a new school, like I'm gonna be playing. So I
Yep.
mean, obviously, just make a platform. You know, I like to tell people do what makes you happy, regardless. I love to use my little sister as an example. We all play sports. She's amazing at basketball. She played with me during high school. Like
Hmm.
I was a senior, she was a freshman, but she decided. She told my parents, she was like, "I don't want to play basketball anymore." And my parents were like, "Great, well, you know, do whatever makes you happy." And I mean, all of us literally play sports. So for her, I really admire her for that. For her to like tell my parents like that's not something I want to do, even though I can play. And so she's really big into fashion, you know, she's really big into her schooling, all that. So like that goes off to like the life after basketball, stuff like that. But so yeah.
What if you don't mind me asking, which sister is this?
This is my younger sister. Her name's Tabitha.
Tabitha. Okay,
Yeah. So
perfect.
she's the one right under me. That's the one who she's taking her own path. She's doing good things too, doing big things for sure. So yeah.
You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it.
Of course. Always.
I was gonna say, man, have you ever considered possibly like anything, or can we expect anything from you sports related after basketball, or possibly even modeling? I've seen on Instagram. I've
Oh
seen you have
yeah.
tons of opportunities. Have you ever considered any of those, either sports
Yeah.
related stuff or modeling stuff after?
Yeah, I definitely want to do something with sports. I don't think coaching is something I can do yet. Even
Okay.
just I don't know, because if people gotta handle players like me, like I don't know if I can do all that. But definitely probably modeling will be something I would definitely get into. Like people told me I should take it serious, but like I don't know. I feel like with basketball, it's just I'll be focused on that. Modeling is like a whole job. But people don't understand that if you're not like I'm not a model, but I have friends who are, and like that's a whole literally it's a
Oh,
9 to 5. Like that's a job,
yeah, it's a
no
whole,
doubt. So,
it's a whole
but yeah, so I'll probably end up doing modeling or something like that after.
nice. Tons of opportunities out there for you, man.
For
Tons of
sure, for
opportunities.
sure.
You know, you so you actually mentioned a couple questions earlier. You mentioned. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Oh, you're fine. You're good.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Hey, duty calls. Duty calls. The firemen and stuff are coming. Now
Of
we can.
course, can't stop the time for that.
No, all good, man. So you mentioned like you kind of struggled. I don't know if it was mentally, physically, whatever the case is, but you weren't. You know, you kind of spoke on it. You were kind of struggling when you were red shirt,
Mhm.
just watching everything, kind of dealing with that, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we understand how life goes. Like everything's not gonna be happy. Everything's not gonna be sad.
Right.
It's all this, right? Is there any
Mhm.
motto or saying, you like to think of while you're going through persevering times and stuff?
Um, there's this one Bible verse my parents always told me, Romans 8:28. It's all things work together for good for those who love God and according to his purpose. So my family's very religious. So like I always like to think there's a plan and time set for everything. It can't rain forever, it can't stay dark forever. So sometimes you're going through deep, hard times, like you have a big blessing coming on the way. That's how I look at things. So life is a blessing, we're only here for a short amount of time. So it can't all be bad all the time.
Oh yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. Sometimes you gotta climb. Sometimes you gotta dig your way out of those holes, man. It is what it is. So I'm with you. That makes sense. I like that. I'm be completely honest with you. I'm not as religious. However, I've seen and heard plenty of people
Yes.
quote that, and
Mhm.
it's a pretty powerful verse for sure.
Mhm.
But with that being said, you've been amazing, and
Appreciate
it's
it.
been great. But to conclude the interview, listen, you've been a lot of places. You have a huge following, and just the reality of it all is with this new day and age, and with new media, women's basketball is growing rapidly. It's growing
Mhm.
more rapid than I've ever seen in my lifetime, which is good.
Right.
There are
Mhm.
plenty of people who probably follow you, or that may be from your area that really connect with you or see
Mhm.
themselves in you. Is there any advice you like to give to any young boys or girls out there that may look up to?
Definitely do whatever makes you happy. That's my biggest motto. If it makes you happy, do it. Don't really think. Don't ever let anybody else depend what your life should be. Life's too short to hold grudges. So, live in the moment. Really live every day like it's your last. Yeah,
Hey,
that's it.
it's simple. It's simple, but it's powerful. It's simple, but it's
Yeah.
powerful, man. Again, we understand you're busy. You athletes,
Yeah.
yeah, your schedules are nuts, man. So we understand you're busy, and we're very appreciative. So thank you again for your time.
Of course, appreciate it. I
We
appreciate it.
wish you all the best going forward, man. So thank
Thank you
you so
so
much.
much.